Penticton, if you spend any amount of time on social media, you will know what a hot button issue this is. In the next few minutes, you're going to see why this 6-kilometer stretch of pavement has split Penticton in half, and the one fix that basically nobody is talking about. One route, 2 lakes, $11 million. And it's one problem that no one agrees on. Hey guys, my name is Jordan West. I'm a former BC ambulance paramedic turned business builder. I absolutely love Penticton. I've loved making videos here so far. I have had so many of you guys reach out to me, and I will tell you, I have had some very, very pointed messages. Like I said one nice thing about the bike lanes in one of my videos, and I was trying to see both sides, and I had people message me, DM me swearing. So I know that this is an issue that people really, really care about. We're going to get into that. And just so you guys know, before we get into this, you can go ahead and go wild in the comments, because I am going to look at both sides of things like I like to try to do in all of these videos for us here in Penticton. But by the end of this video, you're going to see what's actually working right now, because there is, go ahead, go off in the comments, what's not, and a simple, fair path to a win-win, which is what we are always trying to do without picking a side first. So what I ask is that you come into this video with an open mind, right? Come into it with an open mind and maybe even an open heart. And let's see what exactly we can do. Let's go in and talk about some history. So the Lake to Lake is a protected lane between concrete curbs and sidewalks that goes through the core of Penticton. It's connected our 2 lakes, Okanagan and Skaha, for those of you who didn't know their names. But it caused street parking in places and squeezed some turns in a big way. The result has been Facebook flame wars, packed council meetings, and real stories from real people. Today, we listen, test, and propose fixes. No spoilers here, guys. No spoilers here. So let's get into this. Let's talk about the price and let's talk about the trade-offs. So number one, what is this? It's $11 million, grant heavy, and it changed parking and lane widths. So what? People ask why this money didn't build a fire hall, right? Perhaps, or something else in the city. But these grants were earmarked for active transportation. These were use it or lose it grants. We had to use it on this. And again, if anything that I'm saying in these videos is slightly off, feel free to get a hold of me. I'm getting a lot of DMs on oh, you said that thing wrong. Just so you guys know, I'm doing the best I can with the research that I have and the team that I have that does most of my research for my business stuff. This is just a fun sort of thing that I'm doing for the community, just so everyone knows. So you can get mad, but I'm just trying to get things out there. So grants were earmarked for active transportation, use it or lose it. Removing the project would not shift those dollars elsewhere. They would be gone. That is how a lot of these grants work. So just so everyone kind of understands how these work exactly. Safety signals both ways. All right, let's talk about that for 1 second here. There have been crashes at driveways that have turns that have scared people, right? There has been some issues like that. Drivers say that curbs feel like an autocross track. Cyclists say that paint never actually protected them. People are thinking that there's confusing geometry and that creates a higher conflict risk at specific nodes. And I've seen it. Remember, I live here, I drive here, I walk here, I bike here, and I have seen it. So protected lanes done right can cut injuries. Now, if you guys don't know, I don't know if I've told you guys, I have 4 children. I love my kids. My oldest is 12. My youngest is a newborn. And let me tell you, Penticton in particular, there's certain areas here that need protected lanes because a lot of drivers seem to be in a bit of a hurry. And so having these protected lanes is actually really, really important. And it actually makes me feel incredibly safe. We walk every single day to school, and having those protected lanes, even from pedestrians, is actually a big, big safety issue. And when it's done right, it is just the facts that it cuts injuries. Whether you like it or not, the statistics say that it cuts injuries. Also, the city added head start timing for people walking and biking and closed some mid-block exits. And we'll talk about that in a little bit and what actually works and what didn't. So let me present evidence pack number 3. Nobody uses it versus the counters. Here is what people say. It's empty. Shopping carts use it more. Yes, people said that. Guys, I just want to, if you guys are watching this, some of the things that people put in the Facebook groups, just remember before you post it, before you say something, think, if I was across from this human being, would I say this? Would I say this? I saw somebody post the other day, and I know this has nothing to do with bike lanes, but I just want to throw this in there. I saw somebody say, if there is an unhoused person near my yard, can I take my hose and spray them? Here's a short answer for you. No, you cannot. That is dehumanizing. These are still humans. Okay? Just gotta throw that out there for everyone, right? I understand you're upset, right? You can't get to your, Starbucks quite as fast. But these are humans, right? We need to remember that. And we need to have compassion and remember that as a city. Really important. Anyway, that's just my little aside there. You can tell I'm a dad of 4. All right, so nobody uses it. Well, if that's true, then we overbuilt it and we undercounted, right? The cool thing is we actually have counters that show rising trips year over year. I actually think the city did an amazing job. So like kudos to the city for doing that, especially in downtown. Early data elsewhere says build it and riders will show up. And I'm actually going to be talking about that with our lack of any sort of transportation down to the coast as well with planes. I think it's a very, very similar sort of idea. That is the problem, is that not everyone is visionary and can understand that if you build it, they will come. This is a really big thing with this. And I know you guys are thinking, oh, great, George, you're pro bike lanes. I'm not. I'm not anything. I am pro truth and pro information. So that's what I am here. I am very looking forward to seeing the comments, by the way, everyone. This is going to be a fun one. So early data in other cities say that build it and riders are going to show up. We're going to ground that truth in counts at 3 spots in just a minute here, and looking forward to that. Now, evidence pack number 4, business access and parking. So some shop owners lost convenient curb parking and they fear that their sales will drop and have dropped due to this. So a 30-second walk can kill impulse visits if signage and loading fail. That's a big issue. I totally understand. But targeted fixes, signed short stay bays on side streets, designated loading windows, and micro wayfinding can restore access without ripping out any concrete, right? The last thing that we want to do, and I know some of you out there are like, we're going to rip out the bike lanes. Like, newsflash, we're not ripping out the bike lanes. It's not happening. It's just not going to happen. I mean, if you want it to happen, sure. This might be the moment where you're like, I really hate that Jordan guy. That's okay. I was going to say I'm not here to make friends, but I think I am actually here to make friends. Why in the world else would I do this? Anyway, I'm going to show you guys 3 places where a single sign or a curb notch could potentially help. And evidence pack number 5 is process and trust. A lot of people felt ignored. I hear that. Council later paused new lanes for 3 years, right? People felt totally ignored and they felt like their voice wasn't heard, and that's not okay. That's not okay. As a community, we need to hear each other's voices. We need to listen. We need to acknowledge those things. It's really, really important. Without trust, even good fixes get torched. And that's really what I'm here to try to help with this YouTube channel. Thousands of you guys have been watching. It's incredible. I've had like 30,000 people view this channel in the last month, which is wild. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. And I hope that I'm helping build a little bit of trust with you guys. A standing citizen panel, drivers, businesses, seniors, parents, that triages pain points monthly can turn venting into action. That's the thing, right? If we just vent on the side, if we vent on Facebook groups, nothing's going to happen. I hate to tell you that. Complaining doesn't really work, right? But clear communication actually works, and we can do something about it, right? It's incredible to see. By the way, I've had a lot of counselors, a lot of people who have run for council reach out to me about these videos and about some of the issues that we're talking about. If you want to have a place where we can talk about this kind of stuff, I can set something like that up. That's the kind of stuff I absolutely love to do. So just letting you guys know that this is a really, really big issue, and I do not blame you guys at all. Let's try and get in the shoes of someone here on South Main, right? Let's call her Donna. Donna, welcome Donna. She's a South Main resident. She says that backing out feels really, really risky right now. And I totally hear that and I totally see that. Like, there's a lot of times where I cross the bike lanes and I'm like, are we gonna be okay? Is this gonna be all right? Her sight lane to oncoming bike lanes is clipped by this planter over here. Maybe this taper over here. What we need to figure out is these micro adjustments that we could do tomorrow. Not jackhammers to get rid of it, right? That's the crazy thing. We can cone off a wider taper, right? We can chalk a yield bar across the driveway. And we've seen that that's actually worked quite a bit when it's come to making these a little bit brighter and really trying to keep the safety up when it comes to this. I think having some temporary look for bike stencils is really important as well. I know that these are like little things, right? But little things end up being big things. So let's talk about 3 big options that people talk about. Number 1 is rip it out. And let me know in the comments which one you are. Like, we can do some voting in the comments. Love to see what people are talking about in the comments. But number 1 is rip it out, right? The cost, incredibly high. We have grant implications as well for things that we have done here. There are massive implications. Safety, it's going to remove separation. We're going to return to paint and pray. And there's trust. There are people that actually use it. There are tons of people that actually use it, right? So we cannot say that nobody is using it, even if it is the undesirables that you don't like. Doesn't mean that humans aren't using it. People are using it right now, and to me, it is actually working as far as safety. So rip it out is one option. We totally have that option, but there's massive consequences when it comes to that. Number 2 is freeze and do nothing. Cost, low today, high in Facebook comments, high in frustration. The conflict nodes persistent. And just so you guys know, there are dangerous sections. People have been incredibly hurt. I'm not saying that this has not happened. So just so you guys know, like, this has totally happened. Now, trust erodes as complaints continually increase. Now, fix and prove block by block. What we're talking about here, the cost is fairly low. We're talking about cones, we're talking about stencils, we're talking about some more signs. We're talking about a couple of different moves of plants and that sort of thing. The safety, right? We start getting targeted gains at first nodes, and trust, we build it through vision and an action plan and public data and people's voices being heard, because that's really, really important. In my mind, fix and prove wins. And I know that that's not what you guys want to hear. I know I'm going to get a bunch of angry people reaching out to me, but really at the end of the day, ripping the bike lanes out is not the option. I'm sorry, it's not. And I don't want to be that guy. I want everyone to be like, oh, Jordan, that's such a good idea. But I know I'm going to get a bunch of flack for this, and that's totally okay. But I want to let you guys know the reasonable approach here is to fix what we have right now and not completely rip it out. So here is the plan that Penticton can start within the next 7 days. Again, if you guys know a counselor, if you guys know the mayor, send it to him. Send this to him and say like, hey, I think Jordan's got some interesting ideas in here. I am only here to help. That is the point of these videos, and it's obviously working because I have a trillion people reaching out, not a literal trillion. All right, here is the 7-day plan. So number 1 is the top 10 nodes audit. Let's pick the worst 10 spots, driveways, maybe some weird corners, confusing signs. Number 2 is let's start making some micro changes, right? Iterations. It's what I am all about. So stencil, yield bars, planter nudges, short stay bays, clearing loading windows. Number 3 is a big educational blitz. These are 60-second videos on how to turn here, what exactly this is, where to park. Posting these things citywide is important. And one of the core values that I have as a human is just transparency, visibility, and communication, right? Those things together solve a lot of problems. Number 4 is enforcement light. So a 2-week grace with warnings and pamphlets, then ticket the egregious stuff like blocking the lanes, blowing through reds, all of that kind of stuff. Number 5 is an open dashboard, right? So bike counts at 3 segments, intersection speeds, reported near misses, which again is really important. We talked about that with some of the homelessness issues as well. If you haven't watched my homelessness video, go back to that one as well. I think I've got some interesting fixes in that. And we want to escalate to design changes with real drawings and costs, right? We need to figure this out. We need to figure this out as a community. This was never bikes versus cars. This is design versus chaos, and we get to choose the design. So if you're in for data, respect, and action, not Facebook outrage, hit subscribe, share this with a friend, and let me know what you think. You can find the business Jordan on LinkedIn and Twitter a lot. You can find Penticton Jordan on Facebook and just message me here as well. Really, really appreciate everyone for watching this. I know that this is one of those issues that deserves some more time. It really does, and it deserves you as a city to feel acknowledged. And I just want to let you know I do. I acknowledge the issues that this has caused, but we're not ripping it out. I'm sorry. We just can't. We just can't do it.